Comparing the start of this year to 2023 for music, I'm gonna say clear cut this year's been a better start, and judging off of the releases that have been confirmed and rumored, this is gonna be a much better year for music. So for the top albums of 2024, got a list here, not as big as I assumed when I wrote it down, but a lot of albums I just don't feel like are worthy of being on the top of the list so far. So there's some albums that I see, you could be album of the year contender by the end of the year. There's one on here that if it was album of the year at the end of the year, I wouldn't be mad. To start off with, the first album on this list is Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. This is his first album in 5 years, and it is, well worth the wait. He said it's his best album. A lot of people argue that it is his best album, and I see that. I'll still go with Blank Face, but this is a great album. It has a lot of highlights. This album, front to back, great listen. Also, it's an album that you can tell when you first listen, you're going to listen to this album for like the rest of your life. You may not play it every day, you may not play it every week, but it is an album that you're going to play pretty often for the rest of your life. And the second one we got is Bright Future by Adrian Lanker. This album is something that I've been anticipating since the first single, Sadness as a Gift. I mean, that was Song of the Year when it came out. Yeah, I think that song is near perfect, if not perfect. And the singles are just perfect. I mean, you had Fool, you had Free Treasure. The singles for this album were perfect. This album, near perfect. It's just a phenomenal album. And, her work from songs that came out, I believe, 2020, along with, her work with Big Thief. You knew that you're going to get a quality album from Adrian Lanker. She's like one of the best in the past decade or so. We have Fool, we have Already Lost, like as I said, Sadness as a Gift, Free Treasure, just so many great tracks on here. And this is a timeless album that I'll probably be playing, with my kids, because it's just, it's a timeless album, and it just feels like you've heard it before, but in a good way. Just a phenomenal album. Also on this list is She Reaches Out To, the album title is kind of confusing, but it's by Chelsea Wolfe. Very interesting album for the soundscape. I really like the album. Front to back, good listen. I have my highlights for it, but overall, think it's a good album. Best of the year, not really, but it is a great album front to back, and it's something you should check out. Also on this list, we have the first volume of Vultures, which, when this video is being recorded, all 3 should have came out, but I think a lot of us are happy for just one of them to come out, because when all 3 got announced, we didn't even know if we're gonna get one, because first he announced the first one, and then we get volume 2 and 3 announced by them, and we're like, we don't even have the first one yet. Can we just get the first one? We got the first one. Looking like volume 2 could come out next week. I don't know how it'll come out, whether it's on the Yeezy website or it's on streaming platforms. Hopefully it's on streaming platforms, but yeah, this album, didn't really know what to expect going into it. With what I got out of it, I don't think it's the very little expectations I had. I don't think it's what I expected. It's been about nearly 3 years since his last album release, and a collab album with Ty Dolla $ign seemed kind of didn't seem like it was expected, but looking back at it, it just seems like for them to finally have a full collab album, it kind of made sense, because Ty has been the only artist, I believe, on every Kanye album since Life of Pablo, Fade to Violent Crimes, and even Kids See Ghost, Donda, Jesus is King, and a number of other tracks, Junior Part 2. He's been on all these, so many Kanye tracks, and Kanye's been on some Ty Dolla $ign albums featuring Ty Dolla $ign. He was on Ego Death, he was on a song with, in early, I think Ty's first album, but yeah, so this album has been in the works for a while, or not, maybe not in the works, but it's been something that, makes sense to come out eventually. But you never know when Kanye's involved in the collab album. Definitely some highlights. Some songs I don't understand what the direction is on them, but from a front to back listen, I do think it's an enjoyable listen. You have the highlights, Carnival being his biggest song, since I don't even know when, maybe for Just My Hands Part 1. Paid, great song. Ty Dolla $ign did amazing on that. That's my favorite Ty Dolla $ign performance on the album. You got Burn, you got great Kanye rapping on that. You got King, Fuck Some. What else we got? Keys to My Life, Beg Forgiveness, and then Problematic, another great cut. Overall, some songs felt like a more Kanye song than a Ty Dolla $ign song. Other songs felt like a more Ty Dolla $ign song than a Kanye song. But you put all of them together in one, it does feel like a Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign collab album. I think this is a great album, and I'm really looking forward to volumes 2 and 3. A little nervous because, you know, when we're at this stage in your career of Kanye, we don't know, he could release some BS, but there's a lot of potential with these releases, and from the listening parties for, I guess, Vultures 2 and the unreleased, it's looking like we could have some good albums if these two come out, or just one of them. Next on this list is Insano plus the Nitro Mega Deluxe, which that has some better songs than the base album, in my opinion. But yeah, some good songs. You know, we're not getting Prime Cudi. He's going a different direction with this album, and I'm fine with that. You know, we got the song with Pusha T, you know, the song with Rocky, Travis. You know, I mean, it's a great album. Keep Bouncing is a good song that I really enjoy. I know some people probably think it's ass, but it's a song with the production that I think is really what I think it's a song I really enjoy for what it is. It's you know, you're just trying to have fun listening to the song. You know, I think there's nothing that Cudi could do to please people in 2024. You know, they're just been a hate train on him, and you know, it is what it is. His fans still ride with him. I'll always ride with Cudi. You know, he's made classics. Man on the Moon series, one of my favorite trilogies of all time. You got Passion Play Demon Slaying. You got Satellite Flight. You know, he's still releasing quality. It may not be every song after song, banger, great quality, but there's quality in the album, and the Nitro Mega version of the album, which is basically a whole other album. Definitely worth noting for this list, and still something you should check out and not listen to Twitter and say, oh, not listening because it's 25 songs and it's ass. Next we have it's just some notables. Future released 2 albums, We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You. There's some good songs, both of those. All My Life, great example. Show of Hands, Cinderella, great songs on those. As front to back albums, not big on them. Both of those albums I wouldn't consider top of the year, but I think they're both they both have quality in them. And Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, country album I didn't expect, but my God, it is a fun album. It's a long album, a lot of skits, but gave that a front to back listen when you have time. It is a fun album, one of the best albums of the year. And I don't expect this album to go out of my, if I make a top, 30 list, whatever it's going to be end of the year, it's going to be there probably. A very fun listen. I may not listen to the song individually more than a lot of these albums, like the album list after this might delete later. A lot of these albums I'll listen to individually, song by song, more than Cowboy Carter, but front to back listen, this is arguably top 3 of the year, maybe even, top 2, maybe top 1. But yeah, this is a great album, something that I did not expect, but I really appreciate, and Beyonce just really killed it. Wasn't a corny country album at all. I mean, Beyonce, she's proving the legendary artist she is with this album, because, I don't think a lot of people would have expected her to do a country album and execute it so well like she did. And for the last album on the list for this year is Might Delete Later by J. Cole. This album came out of nowhere. We can tell that this isn't the fall off level J. Cole. There are some great highlights. I mean, there's some great highlights in this album. I think it's Pie with Ab-Soul and someone else. Sorry, it's slipping my mind right now, but great song. The intro, great song. Even the song with Boss and Central C, I thought that song was pretty good. Some really great quality on this song. Another song, 3001, I think it's called. I'm not sure. There's years in the name, and it's really good. That's my favorite on the album. Again, this is an album I'm not going to listen to front to back, but song by song, I'll pick them out, and I'll listen to that one more than I will listen to an album like Cowboy Carter, despite me thinking Cowboy Carter is a much better album. But yeah, this album, 7 Minute Drill, another one of the songs that was best on the album. I don't know if you want to consider this part of the album still, as he did delete that song later, but he kind of folded on the Kendrick beef. He decided to step back and remove the song. But yeah, I mean, the disses, I think, they were nothing crazy. Good. They were good, But, yeah, for the J. Cole album, I don't have much to say about it. I might do a review on a couple albums later on the year. Ones that already have came out is what I mean. But, yeah, obviously with the weekend coming out this year with an album, I'm going to release some videos on that. It's probably will come out. Hopefully it will. You know, as of April, close to May, no confirmation, but it's looking like we will still get one. But yeah, those are my favorite albums of the year. Be sure to check them out. All of them, I think, have quality in them, and all are worth a listen. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you.